Hi everyone, welcome to a moderately special episode of the SwitchCast. I'm JV.
And David the roommate, back once again.
Yep, as per usual, whenever Casey is away off to do his own vacationing things, I bring David along to fill in. Now, whenever there is this special Casey-less episode, it's always going to be a little bit different from the standard format, just because it's not a standard episode.
Yeah, thanks for making me feel like the second choice, though.
That's just how it is, David. So
yeah,
sorry.
I enjoy these special episodes, though.
Yeah, it's fun having you on the podcast, even though you're never around when Casey is. But
we could arrange that.
Yeah, he did mention that you could have you on the podcast when we're all talking about the same thing without him being gone.
True.
That could potentially happen in the future. Who knows? Either way, today we are talking about Starlink because that is the big game that we have been playing quite a bit of lately.
Possibly my favorite game for the Switch so far.
Wow, that is really, really big.
Because spaceships.
Spaceship!
Yeah, I feel like the 80s spaceship Lego man from the Lego movie.
Yeah, that's true. You do love your... Well, to be fair, both of us love our spaceships. And we'll probably go into that. You know, let's just go into it right now.
Yeah, let's do that.
So, to add a little bit of structure to our discussion here, what is the basic premise of Starlink to you?
Okay, so basic overall plot idea is that your Starlink team has flown to the Atlas star system on their mothership. They're looking for Nova, which is, the MacGuffin element in this particular game.
Yeah, I think it's the element that runs everything.
Yes, it's like the unobtainium type deal.
Yeah, like in Mass Effect.
Element Zero.
Element Zero,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There you go. It's just a pretty common trope when it comes to space-style...
Sci-fi type things. Yeah. So you're hunting Nova, and you have this alien on your crew. You're trying to find mysteries about his past. And then there's this evil alien faction called the Legion who also wants the Nova. And you have to fight the Legion. Surprise.
Yep. And at the very beginning, you have a professor on your team. I think he's a professor.
Right? St. Grand is the name.
Yeah, something, professor, doctor type thing, who has special knowledge of...
He's the only one who knows how to make Nova.
Right, exactly. And so he gets captured, spoiler alert, but part of the start of the game is trying to find him and save him.
Yes.
And that plays out in,
Which part of that whole little beginning sequence, I thought it was a little amusing. The bad guys ask him to make Nova for him. He's like, okay. And then they just decide to be evil anyway.
I don't remember that. But that sounds like
You don't remember me dying laughing on the couch?
It's like, okay, I'll help you. Oh, wait, what's the point of us being evil now? Yeah. Well, let's just do it anyway!
It's like when the plot demands it.
Yeah, either way, the Legion are the bad guys. They are led by... Or at some point, they're led by...
Well, his name comes up almost immediately.
Yeah,
it's Grax, generic alien name.
Yeah, but I don't... We're not going to go into much story spoilers, but this is a game that actually has a surprising amount of story considering my initial expectations of it. Yeah, right? I believe there is a beginning and an end point to the story. A very clear end point.
Clearly.
But I came into this expecting No Man's Sky levels of story. Like, I didn't expect there to be...
You mean non-existent story?
Yeah, right, exactly. And to be fair, this game from the beginning kind of pulls a lot from that No Man's Sky experience.
Mechanically and exploration-wise, yes, there is a big touch of No Man's Sky. It's kind of like No Man's Sky was the skeleton, and then they put actual content onto it.
Well, at least No Man's Sky version 1. We didn't touch No Man's Sky recently.
Yeah, I haven't
been
back.
So whenever we refer to No Man's Sky, we're talking about the initial...
Day 1 No Man's Sky.
Day 1, Day 2, maybe like the first week of No Man's Sky.
Where there was nothing to do.
So what is the basic gameplay loop of Starlink?
Okay, where do I start there?
There's a lot to start.
Obviously, you have your spaceship, and your Starlink technology is how you do all the swapping parts and weapons and everything.
Right.
That's the core gimmick.
Yeah.
Which, one of my favorite things to do is just compile all the wings and weapons onto one ship to make this horrid abomination, but it handles really well because extra wings for some reason.
But what is the gameplay like?
Okay, so you have your Legion forces are trying to take over the Atlas system, and you are trying to push back the Legion forces.
Right.
So you go to each planet individually, and it's all like free roam type thing. The only thing you could consider a loading screen is like the animation going from space to atmosphere and back.
Yeah.
But even that, like, it's barely even
noticeable.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty smooth transition. I like that.
Yes.
It's kind of interesting because I remember No Man's Sky touting just how seamless the transition is from
which it kind of
space
was
to planet. And yeah, like that sounded revolutionary, but now all of these space games are doing it.
Yeah, because it turns out it's not that hard.
Yeah, so, okay, well, not that big a deal, No Man's.
But anyway, back on track. You have to go around the planet, you destroy Legion forces. They have these extractor things that are mining, fancy elements and everything to make Nova.
Right.
You have to blow those up to protect your allies, and you can build your own outposts there, like observatories to expand your map range, or refineries to get you more resources, or armories to boost your allies' defenses, that type of thing.
Right. So you're essentially going around the planet, fortifying or upgrading the various facilities there, and that allows you to really improve your standing versus the Legion on that planet.
Yes, and that system actually had a lot more depth than I expected it to at first. Like, in a lot of games where you have this type of thing going on, like, all your efforts are basically just putting numbers on a graph, and it doesn't really have any tangible benefits.
Right.
Other than, like, Mass Effect, like, get the highest number so you can get the best light show at the end.
Yeah, that was a joke.
In this game, though, your actions actually kind of matter. Like, if you fortify a planet enough, they'll start pushing back the Legion on their own without you even being there.
Right.
Like, you'll just be going around doing anything. Like, I was trying to mine some minerals so I could upgrade my refinery, and I just noticed the little bar. It was like, greater extractor destroyed, other thing destroyed, prime destroyed, and they're just going around the planet taking care of their stuff on their own.
Right.
I was like, oh, hey, they're actually helping. And then when I decided to go blow up an extractor myself, I noticed suddenly I had friends there who were helping me, and it was so much easier.
Yeah, and I think that's just a really nice touch when it comes to the exploration aspect of the game.
Yes.
Now, it definitely goes to say that it is very fetch questy, very exploration.
A little bit.
So if that's not the style of game that you like, then obviously that's a big chunk of Starlink. Yeah.
Fortunately, the fetch quests, you don't really have to go that far for the thing you're trying to get.
Right.
It's like you fly for 30 seconds one direction, pick it up, maybe blow up a few enemies, and then fly back.
Right. And honestly, some people do find that type of gameplay satisfying. Like going around collecting resources and then bringing it to a location to expand your buildings. I think that is a gameplay loop that some people find enjoyable.
I certainly don't mind it.
Yeah, you definitely love these styles of games.
Not so much the grindy little fetch quest, but, the open world type, fight the evil empire, build your army type games. I do like that kind of thing. So I played Dragon Age like 15 times.
Yeah, and it is fun. And I have to say that it is a big part of the game, and it's important for you to know that going into it. Now, there's also the combat itself. You seem to really like the combat. It was actually pretty cool,
yes,
right?
I do enjoy my space simulator dogfights and all that.
So how does combat really come into play?
So if you've played any kind of spaceship fighting simulator before, you're going to get the general idea immediately off the bat. You pilot your ship, you shoot down the bad guys. The change here is the weapon swapping with the Starlink technology, with the physical toys that you can do.
Right.
So some enemies, they have the whole elemental rock, paper, scissors thing going on.
Right. Some elements are stronger against others.
Yeah.
Each of your weapons have a different element that they take
like
advantage
if you
of.
find a fire cyclops, you're going to want to use an ice weapon on it because other stuff's not going to be as effective.
Right.
But what I do enjoy is you can make elemental combos with certain things.
Right.
And I think everything can combo with everything from my experience.
Yeah, but they just have different effects based on the combination.
So like my go-to Old Faithful combo is I have the Volcano Gatling gun on one side and the Hailstorm chain gun on the other. So I heat them up with the Volcano and then cool them down real quick with the Hailstorm, and it causes something called thermal shock, which is like a stun effect and then a big chunk of damage all at once.
Right, because it's like a sudden shift in temperature for whatever you're attacking. And
yes, and it works vice versa too. Another combo we tried out was the vortex missiles along with literally any other element.
Yeah, no, what I thought was super cool was when we used the gravity sphere, the singularity sphere. So you shoot out a beam and it forms a singularity sphere.
A little black hole thing.
Yeah, that sucks in things and deals damage.
Yes.
But if you shoot any sort of element into it, it transforms that sphere, that vortex,
into that element.
To an elemental vortex.
So, like, if you have a bunch of fire things trapped in that vortex, you just shoot some ice weapons in there, and suddenly you have an ice vortex, and they're all dying real fast.
Yeah, and it's really satisfying to be able to pull off those combos, and using the weapons themselves are actually really fun.
Yeah, like, you don't even have to go strictly for the elemental combos. One thing I really enjoyed was the stasis missile that makes everything float, kind of zero-G, and then the battering ram meteor attack.
Yeah.
Where your ship just flies straight into them and everything explodes.
Right.
It's so satisfying.
It's super cool, because you would use that stasis beam to hold them still.
Yes.
And then you can position yourself and ram into them to deal a lot of damage.
Yes. It also works really well with the vortex. You just have to be careful of self-damage.
Yeah, self-damage is a thing with the vortex. But it's just really fun to have those different types of combinations. Now, how about the ships? Did you like how they worked?
Yes, I've tried most of the ships so far. The only one I haven't tried is the basic starter ship because I can't figure out how to use the digital version.
Yeah, but there are a lot of available ships, right? Just in general?
Not counting the 2 store exclusive ones that are just reskins of the others. There's 6 total right now.
Yeah.
And I can clearly see there's going to be more in the future, obviously.
Of course, it's Ubisoft, so...
Yeah. My favorite 2 so far are the R-Wing that came with the Switch version and the Lance, which is the ninja-looking ship.
Right, and is there any significant difference between all of the ships?
Most of the ships have their own individual stats. The R-Wing and the Lance kind of have almost the same stats, but that's just my personal preference.
Yeah.
Each one comes with a pilot, but you do not have to use the same pilot with each ship.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about the game. There's a lot of different permutations and combinations that you can put together. So you can have the pilot and the ship and the weapons all in different combinations.
Just going down the line, the Neptune is kind of like the big tanky ship. It can't move very fast, but it can take a beating.
Yeah, that's the one I use.
Yeah, of course you do. The Lance and R-Wing are the sort of all-rounded dogfighters. They're second best at everything, more or less. The Nadir is your blockade runner that is the fastest ship by far.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And finally, you have the Pulse. I think that one's a little bit of an awkward position because it's supposed to be one of the faster ships, but it's not much faster than the Lance or R-Wing, but it's a lot more fragile.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure what their intention
I think it's supposed to be lighter, so on the weight scale,
it does strafe a little bit better, but for something designed like a race car, you'd think it'd be better at straightaways.
Well, who knows? It does look cool.
It does look very cool.
And they do have differences, but the captains also have differences too.
Yes, mainly in their pilot skills.
Right.
Like, you have a main active ability type skill that you can use, and then they have all of their passive effects that you unlock with your skill trees.
Yeah. So, pilot that you like to use other than Fox?
Mason, I was trying out with his orbital strike.
Yes, his pilot skill is an orbital strike, which is really cool.
Yes, it's a short little charge up, but then it's a big area of effect, massive damage nuke thing.
Yeah, and there's also Judge that has time slowing abilities.
Carl has the reflector shield thing.
Yeah, which, they all have different skills, and you can tune your build based on those skills.
Yes, you can have a certain pilot in a certain ship with certain weapons, so you can min-max your game plan.
Like, what I like to do is I like to have the Neptune with its bulkiness mixed with precision and siege weapons, like the railgun, so that I can hunker down like a turret, focus on specific points on the primes or the dreadnoughts later on, and just ram them down while tanking a lot of damage.
That railgun, though.
Yeah, seriously.
I personally think it's the best siege weapon.
Yeah, well, there are different styles of weapons and styles of attacks, too, beyond just elements.
Yes. One of my personal favorites is just do full missile barrage on both sides, and you mix it up, and you barely have to aim with those.
Yeah, but that's the point of them, right?
Yes.
The point is that you can be mobile and shoot those out without having to worry about aiming as much. With siege weapons, you definitely have to aim, but you're not going to be that mobile when you're doing it. So there's a balancing act, and you have to figure out which weapons work in what situations. Now, you did mention that there is the R-Wing in this game.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
The R-Wing is very, very accurate to a real Star Fox game.
Oh, yeah?
Including the fact that Fox can summon Falco, Slippy, and Peppy to help him out.
Yeah, which is really cool.
It even plays like classic Star Fox music while they're there. Yes, that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Whenever you use Fox's pilot skill, it plays that music, summons his friends, and then it really hypes you up for the battle.
They all say their lines from the games. It's amazing.
Yeah, so I know the Star Fox integration is a big deal and an exclusive to the Switch version. So do you want to describe how it plays out?
They are actually story integrated right off the bat.
Yeah, I thought that was super cool, right?
Yes, literally the first moment you get to control a ship, if you have Fox plugged in there, you will start as Fox.
Yeah.
They are there to stop Wolf from doing something in the Atlas section, and there's a whole section of Wolf missions I won't spoil.
Yeah.
But as soon as he's there, he immediately joins the Starlink team. You can play as them as much as you want.
Yeah.
It's great.
I thought it was really cool because they are integrated in some of the cutscenes.
They are.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. And throughout the game, you would have voice lines with Fox actually talking to the aliens you're interacting with in the
Fox
planet.
has his own voice lines, and all the other characters actually have their own voice lines for interacting with Fox.
Yeah, which makes me feel like they kind of consider the Switch to be the primary
Yeah, I think so too,
console.
actually.
Yeah, I think that's super cool, and thank you, Ubisoft, for really having confidence in the Nintendo Switch as a platform.
Yes, I like this.
You know, it's kind of weird because, not to go off on too much of a tangent, but Ubisoft has been integrating with Nintendo a lot more frequently recently with the whole Rabbids integration, with Starlink, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more in the future. I think...
I hope so.
There is going to be a really good...
Assassin's Creed on Switch.
You know, it's not impossible. Who knows?
I can see it. The Switch is not a weak console by any means.
Yeah, and the graphics for the game actually look really good for the Switch.
It's kind of like a pseudo cel-shaded style.
Yeah, kind of. It has very vibrant colors within the planets. In space, even the colorization of all the ships and the background is
you see
very
like the nebulas and
vivid.
everything floating.
And throughout the game, there weren't any drastic frame rate drops or performance drops.
I haven't noticed any.
Yeah.
Well, one time when you plugged in your second ship and it had to catch up for a second, but then it immediately just got right back on track.
Yeah, so I never felt like I was held back by being on the Switch platform. So not only are we getting a really well done game graphically, but since it's on the Switch, we have it portable.
Yes, it's great. And since you can play digitally, you don't have to bring your models with you everywhere.
Yeah.
I just wish I knew how to do that.
Yeah, we've been playing almost exclusively docked, so... but the models and the figures themselves are quite a bit of fun. Like I enjoy them a lot.
I even like that you can switch out the wings on all the ships, so you can really mix and match for something you personally like.
Yeah, right. You can fit your own aesthetic. And if you really do not like having physical models of the ships, you can buy a digital version that gives you everything unlocked. But, you know, for us, we are amiibo collectors. We love Gundam figures. We just love having knickknacks and stuff to display. So getting the ships themselves are obviously...
Yes.
It obviously makes sense to us.
Yeah, that is something I wanted to... It's a good lead into the point I was going to make. It is kind of designed to encourage you to buy all the toys, obviously, because they're here to make money.
Yeah, well, of course.
Having multiple ships super helps because the number of ships you have is essentially the number of lives you have.
Right.
If the ship you're in gets blown up, instead of respawning and starting over, you can just plug in a new one and keep going.
Right.
Which one of the boss fights felt a little overtuned to sort of encourage you to have multiple ships.
Perhaps, or maybe I remember during our first big boss fights that we were kind of surprised by what type of objectives we had to pull off, and we were trying to look for what we were looking for. And I think we were kind of caught off guard with...
Yeah, we got overwhelmed by all of the minions and everything while trying to fight the boss.
But ultimately, I didn't think it was completely unfair. I think we were just caught off guard.
It wasn't. It was a little harder than it needed to be, but it was fair-ish.
Yeah. It was still a fun experience, and I like having the toys just because they are surprisingly really well built.
They are, actually.
Yeah, like they look really nice. I expected them to feel cheap and plasticky, and while they are made of plastic, each of the components do have a bit of heft to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to be sturdy if you're going to be pulling them apart all the time.
Yeah, and if they're going to be handled by kids, obviously.
Especially. Yeah, this game, It's built so that it's fun for adults to play, but you can tell it's more so targeted at kids.
Yeah, it's definitely a kids game with adults, not adult themes, but
Yeah. Let's phrase this correctly.
but it has gameplay elements that anyone can enjoy.
Yes.
Now, it is interesting to note that I would have had a lot more of a problem with how much of a buy-in the ships are if there was a competitive multiplayer aspect to this game.
Which there is not. It's just co-op.
Yeah, there's... When it comes to multiplayer, there is no competitive aspect. There is co-op, but it's only split-screen local co-op. So there's not even online multiplayer co-op or switch-to-switch local co-op.
I could see them maybe adding those features in the future.
I can potentially in the future. They could also, in Starlink 2, then they could add those multiplayer features. But for now, they only have split-screen co-op, which, to be honest, I was initially disappointed in the fact that there was only split-screen co-op, but once we started actually playing split screen, I had a lot of fun with it.
Which I'm glad it's there, because not enough games have split screen co-op these days.
It's true. This definitely fills that niche of split screen co-op, and if you have a kid or kids that you'd want to play this game with, you would want to play there with them so that they could fly their spaceships and have a ton of fun.
You can carry your child through the game.
Yeah, and you can help them out if they have problems. Like, if there are certain things that they have trouble finding, having a co-op partner is really helpful.
Yes.
And what's great about that experience is how in and out and quickly it is to get set up.
Oh, yeah, it's really easy. You basically just, you sync your Joy-Cons, you plug the ship in, and you're good to go.
Yeah, and even if you can just hop in, and even if you don't have a second physical ship, you can just use a digital version of any other ship, and boom, you can help out in your co-op experience.
Yeah, and even dropping out of co-op, it's as easy as going to the start menu and pressing the right button.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I thought the co-op experience was really cool, and it kind of helped MMOize the experience.
A little bit?
In a sense that you
you
were able to take certain tasks while I took the others.
Yeah, I was very fond of our approach where I handle all the minions and everything while you use the railgun on the boss.
Yeah,
that made things so much easier.
I was the tank turret that shot the boss with my siege weapons while you dealt with all of the...
I'm flying around doing barrel rolls.
Yeah.
Side note, the barrel roll does actually reflect missiles if you're in the R-Wing. I thought that was a great touch.
Yeah, that is a great touch. Yeah, but the fact that you can like mix and match rolls as well,
yes,
but with your co-op partner, adds a lot of
a little strategy to it.
Yeah, it adds a lot to
as
the
opposed
experience.
to just chaos. Okay.
So yeah, what I did like, one of the things was what you mentioned, how well integrated the Star Fox experience is, and how the R-Wing is.
It's a very faithful R-Wing.
Yeah, I like how if you leave it completely weaponless, then
it keeps the lasers. I refuse to put weapons on the R-Wing.
Yeah, that's one thing that I thought was such a nice touch. You can do the barrel roll to deflect lasers, which is really, really interesting. You have the classic double laser shot,
yes,
and then you charge it up into a bit of a laser pulse.
Yes.
That's a super cool experience.
And when you're watching it fly, you can see all the control surfaces and everything moving just like it would in like a real spaceship. It's beautiful.
I like how diverse the planets seem, even though they might be the same type.
Yes, this is actually something I wanted to talk about, because
template.
Like in No Man's Sky, you land on a planet and the planet is identical all the way around. You land on a planet in Atlas and that planet has different biomes. Like this one has a desert over here and like a little forest over here and maybe a beach section over here. So there's variety just on one planet, and then you have a whole bunch of planets you can go to. Right,
which I thought was pretty cool. And I liked how interactive all of your facility workers are.
Kinda. They need a few more voice lines to recycle, but
yeah,
it doesn't really bother me that much.
They go through the same voice lines over and over, but it's a lot better than the complete void and silence of some other games. Were there any specific things that you liked?
I like almost all of this game. It's easier for me to talk about like the 2 points I don't like.
Okay, well then let's hop into it and go over what did you not like about this game.
I mean, I guess you can roll it into one point, is that they're a little bit greedy with the toys. Like certain upgrades to the Equinox, which is your main mothership, are locked behind specific pilots being leveled up to a certain point.
Right.
So, like, if you want to upgrade your alliance's weaponry with elemental defenses, you actually have to go out and buy the specific pilot and then plug him in and level him up before you can buy that upgrade.
Right.
I feel like that didn't need to happen.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that requires a bit more monetary investment than some people would expect.
I don't mind it as much as I should.
It is definitely a detriment and a good point to make. Just because there could be a little bit of a sticker shock when you want to go into it with all of the figures or all of the collectibles and characters.
Everything, it gets a little pricey.
Yeah. Luckily, what you can do is if you want to minimize how much you pay, you can get the full digital version, which unlocks everything.
Yeah.
And then you can get whichever specific toys that you want.
Yeah.
So if you're not a collector and you only like 1 or 2 ships, get the digital version that unlocks everything for you, and then get the specific ships.
Yeah, it's as easy as that, more or less.
But for us, we are collectors. We want to have everything.
I'm going to display all the ships.
Yeah, if you've ever seen our household, which you haven't, but...
I mean, you're currently sitting in front of 2 shelves full of amiibos.
Yes, we have glass cases of amiibos, we have plushies and figures and
so many Pokemon,
Gundam models. We have a lot of framed
Monster Hunter figures.
Yeah, so it's not a gigantic mess. Like it's set up in a way that makes it look classy, kind of.
I like how you're trying to defend your apartment choices.
It's our apartment, but yes,
you don't need to justify it.
I don't have to justify. I really don't. But it's it's something that we like to do. Like we like physical.
And I've seen some people are putting command hooks on their wall and hanging the ships on them as like a display feature that they can easily take the ship off of.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. I feel like that's what we're gonna end up doing at some point. I can
have some empty wall space.
Oh, we do somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah, but ultimately, I really like the game. I think that it is pricey, but there isn't that much of this style of game on the Switch right now.
Or on the market in general, really.
Well, I mean, there's No Man's Sky, there's Elite Dangerous, I guess those aren't necessarily as exploratory as this.
Not quite as much, no.
But...
Well, No Man's Sky is entirely exploratory, but it doesn't have much else. I guess the new
Everspace.
stuff.
Yeah. But on the Switch specifically, this type of game is very unique. And I would definitely recommend this game to anyone who likes that genre. And
we have barely covered all the depth of this game. It's a very well put together game. It's mechanically solid. The story's okay. It's a little cliche, but it's fine.
It is cliche, and
the voice acting is passable.
Yeah, some voice actors are fine. Some are not great.
There's one character I want to punch in the face.
Yes, you do not like Levi.
Yeah, my catchphrase for this game is rapidly becoming "Shut up, Levi."
And if you pick up the game, then you'll
understand.
You'll understand.
He's designed for a specific audience.
Yes, and
I'm not part of that audience.
No, we are definitely not a part of that audience who find Levi cool. And if you do, then let me know. Because I want to know what type of person you are.
10 and under is the person you are.
No, not necessarily. Some people might think he's pretty cool, but it's fine. I'm not going to judge. But I'm going to judge Levi as a character.
Oh, I am too.
Okay, but...
I want to blow him out the airlock.
Were there any specific characters that you liked more?
Characters that I liked more? Haka's pretty cool. He's the ninja samurai. He looks like Hanzo, just kind of in a space.
Well, he looks like Hanzo mixed with Zenyatta, kind of.
A little?
Yeah, and he's like a ninja samurai,
Yeah, all those cliches rolled into one.
Yeah, of course.
There's what is her name? Shade.
Yes.
She's the outlaw bounty hunter gunrunner type girl. She's honestly the level-headed one in the group. I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's great, and I think they don't really necessarily dive that deep into each individual character's backstory, but they do touch on it.
They do just enough that you get a sense of who the character is.
Yeah, and then you really get to know them based on the character.
You watch through the cutscenes and you learn about these characters.
Yeah, it's through the character interactions. Really.
Shade is my favorite, core character. I'm playing Fox almost exclusively, but I am trying out the other people.
Yeah, just because.
Because it's Fox.
It is Fox. You want to make this as Star Foxy a game as possible. And I did read online somewhere that Ubisoft actually kind of made a Star Fox demo to propose to Nintendo before making Starlinks. And
they just kind of merged the two ideas?
And then Starlink happened. So I'm ultimately glad that this happened. It's a good game. And
it is. I would recommend it.
Yes.
I don't know if I would recommend buying all of the figures unless you really just want to collect them.
Yeah.
But I would recommend getting the game at least.
Yeah, and maybe if you're a little bit apprehensive, this game will inevitably go on sale at some point.
Yes.
So,
and the amount of content in there is clearly high enough that you're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's get to the news. Now, we did skip the news section last week because Casey was kind of in a hurry, and we covered quite a bit last week. But this week, we're going to go over all the news stories that we missed last week, and a couple more to cover this week as well. So to start us off, I want to start with Dragon Quest X. Now, it looks like we are getting Dragon Quest X on the Switch, but with an offline version, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's a neat little twist there. It's just a regular RPG now.
Yeah, instead of a massively multiplayer online RPG.
It's going to be neat to see how that works.
Yeah, Dragon Quest X, and Dragon Quest in general, is hugely popular. So, of course, this is going to be a big deal for the Switch.
I think you've played some, haven't you?
Oh, I've played a lot of Dragon Quests, and Dragon Quest X is one that I haven't played at all, but I would really, really want to. That's for sure.
Speaking of RPGs.
Yeah, so it looks like we're also getting
a limited edition Diablo 3 Switch console, which I super need.
Yeah, look at it. It looks super cool, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah, so it has, is that Tyrael and Diablo on the Switch dock? That's like engraved on the Switch dock itself.
Classic art looking stuff, too.
Yeah, and then we're getting engraved on the back of the Switch, some engravings as well.
Now if I could just get some Diablo 3 Joy-Cons, I'll be good to go.
Yeah, it comes with a Diablo 3 carrying case. It just looks super cool.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so we're getting that very soon. Oh, wow. The game is going to launch on November 2nd, so that's coming up very soon.
A couple weeks from now.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this is something to look forward to. We're definitely going to get the game because
there's too many games coming out.
Yeah, it's called TMG, David. TMG, too many games. Unfortunately, the game will not be cross-platform.
Sad.
For now, as far as we can tell, as far as Blizzard has announced at least, there won't be cross-platform Diablo 3 play.
They'll figure it out.
Honestly, I wasn't really expecting it because my primary Diablo 3 experience was...
PS4.
Yeah, PS4. Right. We played locally or co-op on the same screen with a PS4, and that was a lot of fun. It essentially became like a Gauntlet Legends style game.
Kind of, actually.
So this doesn't bother me too much. There's going to be a lot of players on the Switch, so you're going to be fine. So on the less RPG side of things, it looks like we're getting a Taiko Drum Master, or Taiko no Tatsujin, demo on the Switch soon.
Oh, please tell me you're not going to spend all day playing that.
Yes, I will be playing that a lot. It'll be like... Dum, 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 dum,
he goes to the arcades and just plays the drum games for hours.
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. And it's coming out on November 2nd, too, so expect that.
Rhythm games.
Yeah, I love rhythm games. You know that. Now, it looks like we also had a little bit of a leak for Sonic Double Pack. So Amazon Italy errantly released a Sonic Double Pack on their website. It included Sonic Mania Plus, which everyone loves, and an unknown Sonic game, which could be anything, but...
Please don't be Sonic Forces.
It's likely going to be Sonic Forces, to be honest. But...
So they're just hoping it balances out and everyone just...
buys them, because Sonic Forces is pretty universally panned.
Meanwhile, Mania Plus, everyone really likes.
Yeah, so maybe Sonic Mania Plus can carry Sonic Forces.
They're just trying to, just shove Forces over the edge and get everyone to buy it or something.
Yeah, well, who knows, but if you're interested in Sonic that much, and it's not confirmed whether it's Sonic Forces or not, so we'll see if maybe could be a new game. Maybe they could package a new game, or...
Another older game people like?
Yeah, a remastered version of Sonic
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Well, some people like that game, I guess.
I knew a few.
Yep. Yes, for the next headline, it looks like Nintendo listed their top 30 best-selling games on the eShop for September. And not surprisingly, Fortnite is at the very top.
Does a free game count as a bestseller?
Yeah, well, it's...
You're not selling it.
It counts. It counts. Maybe they're counting downloads. Yeah, see, look,
possibly
most downloaded games,
okay,
Fortnite.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Yeah, it's free.
Guess what number 2 is?
What is it?
Undertale.
Yeah, that's also not surprising. Undertale has a really big following.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so it's... At least the first top 5 is Fortnite, Undertale, Hollow Knight, which is a great game.
Yes, Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft.
Surprise.
Super Mario Party is the 5th one. And just to go over a couple more, Overcooked 2, which is awesome. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
Worth it.
Yeah, so some good games. It's really surprising that Super Mario Party... Oh, it's not that surprising that Super Mario
Most
Party...
of these are not surprises.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Like number 10 is Rocket League. Who saw that coming?
No one. Either way, Fortnite obviously is really, really popular with the kids nowadays.
Yes.
Nintendo Switch is considered by some to be a kid's console.
Nintendo has that reputation, which I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing.
No, and that doesn't mean that it's not enjoyable for adults. Kind of like Starlink.
I mean, we have Diablo coming out.
Yeah, right. So we'll see how that changes once October's list is released, but Fortnite is the big one. Now, first, a little bit of bad news. One of the games that Casey and I were really, really hyped about was Wargroove. And it does look like they, unfortunately, had to delay until quarter one of 2019.
Is that the Advance Wars type game that you've been waiting for?
Yes, it is the Advance Wars type game that I've been waiting for a long time.
Hey, Advance Wars developers, if you just make a new game, he'll buy all the copies.
It's not all the copies, but a good majority of them. But Wargroove has been there and announced almost since early launch of the Switch. And we've been waiting for it for quite some time. And they did make a statement saying that they were initially aiming for a late 2018 release, but they have recently decided to move the launch window to quarter one 2019 to allow them to provide players with a really robust package when the big day comes.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, it's never a bad thing.
I'm fine with game developers taking their time as long as it actually produces a good game.
Yes, and considering just how
Duke
much...
Nukem.
Yeah, considering how much we're getting, I feel like it's going to be worth it. We're getting a skirmish mode, an arcade mode, a campaign mode, puzzle mode. We're getting map and campaign creation. We're going to get content sharing mechanisms, galleries, codecs, jukeboxes, and...
secret content.
Yeah. So it's going to be a ton of fun. There's going to be a lot to this, and I feel like it's going to serve our community for a long time.
Be honest, you're going to go through the puzzle mode before anything else.
It's going to be... maybe. But I actually am excited for the campaign mode because some people out there, and especially within our Discord community, they're going to make really cool campaigns that would probably be surprisingly well done.
You mean in the content creator section?
Yeah, and the campaign creation section.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can create maps, you can create campaigns, and once they make that system robust, it essentially makes their game timeless. And in more positive news, it looks like we are getting Fuse 4 in April 2019. So if you don't know what Fuse 4 is, it is actually a coding system within the Nintendo Switch, which lets you actually code your own Nintendo Switch games on the Switch itself.
That's actually super cool.
Yeah, it uses kind of a basic style programming language.
So nobody's going to be making, AAA blockbusters.
Well, it does look like they've modernized their programming system to be more reminiscent of, quote, modern coding languages. So it's reminiscent to Python, Java, C++, so a lot of local...
Gesundheit.
Yeah, okay. So a lot of programming. It looks cool. A lot of the mock-ups they provided look very well done. Of course, it's going to be 2D, 8-bit, or
I see
stylings.
A Raiden Galaga type shmup-looking thing over here. I'm going to plan all of that.
Yeah, and there's RPGs, platformers. I feel like the potential for this is really big. And
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
And fail horribly.
Yeah, and it's going to be another one of those things where it's fun to see what the community makes. Now, another exciting bit of news is that Sega is considering bringing Dreamcast games over to the Switch.
Oh yeah, speaking of Sonic games.
Yeah, well, Sega's always kind of done that. In the GameCube era, they brought over Sonic Adventure games. There's Power Stone. There's a lot of
Power Stone.
Yeah, Dreamcast games are great, and I feel like bringing them over to the Switch would be really cool. Whether it's through remastered versions of games or even just releasing them through a virtual console.
I was going to say like a virtual
system.
console thing.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun. Or they might even bring it as a compilation of some sort, perhaps.
I can see it.
Yeah. And lastly, for our news section, it looks like Nintendo Labo is coming to classrooms throughout the nation, U.S. and Canada.
I think that's actually a really good use for that.
Yeah. The fact that Nintendo is integrating themselves into classrooms once again is really cool. They did that a little bit in the Wii era, remember?
Yeah,
where they had
vaguely.
Yeah, they had Wii Sports in classrooms so that they can get kids up and moving. This way, this can really get kids to be hands-on creating physical
kind of like a Lego type thing.
Yeah, but with a much less precarious system, like with cardboard.
Yeah, you don't have kids swallowing Lego bricks.
Yeah, this is going to be really good for kids. I think there are some programming elements to Nintendo Labo.
Kind of like those Mindstorm things?
Yeah, so having kids follow along with the instructions, making something physical, allowing them to paint it and draw on it or customize it the way they want to look. I think these would really add to a fun lesson plan in the future.
Good for you, Nintendo.
So, yeah. So, good on Nintendo for bringing this over to classrooms. I think it's going to be great. Now, for a little bit of Pokemon-specific news, it looks like the Pokemon team revealed a bit of endgame content for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
This is the Master Trainers, right?
Yes. So, it looks like there are going to be Master Trainers around Kanto that you can face. And I think it looks to be a pretty cool twist on the classic endgame that you get.
From what I could see of the trailer, it looks like you have to fight them in a one-on-one duel with the same Pokemon.
Right. And what's unique about the situation is that some of the Pokemon that the Master Trainers have utilize unexpected movesets.
Like there was some weird thing that had Solar Beam you would never expect to have. Was it a Gyarados with Solar Beam?
No, Gyarados had Lightning, Thunderbolt
That's
or something
right.
like that, which is kind of nuts because Gyarados versus Gyarados...
Thunderbolt's gonna
wreck. So it's a new mode where
it said there was no items too, I believe.
There's no items, and you have to face them with the exact same Pokemon. So mirror matches are going to be really interesting that way. Especially because you're going to have to kit your Pokemon in a way that expects all the weird stuff that their Master Trainer is going to...
It's kind of like a Pokemon puzzle type thing.
Yeah, and not
kinda
only...
like those Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel puzzles.
Yeah, and not only that, just the sheer number of Master Trainers that you're going to have to find and beat is going to be really, really expansive. So once you defeat the game, there's going to be a lot of content left for you to go over. And it looks like there will be one Master Trainer for every original 151 Pokemon.
Are we talking about literally all of them, or are we talking about every evolution line?
Well, at the end of the trailer, we saw a Metapod Master Trainer. And you had to fight against another Metapod trainer. And that was a joke, because that was an episode...
The Harden battle?
Yeah, in the Pokemon anime. And so, yeah, it looks like it's going to be every single one.
Well, that's fun.
Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, that type of thing. And so they did release a new, almost seemingly final trailer for the game that showcased all of the different features. And it honestly got me really hyped for Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
Yeah, I noticed they had Alolan forms are back and Mega Evolutions.
Yep, so they're bringing Mega Evolutions, E-moves, the whole shebang when it comes to all the Kanto Pokemon. Which is a cool way to make it Gen 1 while adding still a little bit more
variety.
Yeah. And the music itself kind of sounded like all of those Pokemon Go trailers.
A little bit, actually.
Pokemon Go
which
trailers.
That's probably intentional.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It felt very exploratory and
which is
uplifting.
more of the point of this one.
Now, interestingly enough, if people end up really liking Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, there is a chance that we might get Johto versions of this game.
Everyone's favorite region?
Yeah, so what would that be? Would it still be Pikachu and Eevee, or would it be like Pokemon Let's Go Cyndaquil, Let's Go...
Was there like a Gen 2 specific type thing like that?
I don't remember. I feel like they might just go into...
Just stick a 2 on the end?
Yeah, maybe. Let's go Eevee 2, let's go Pikachu 2. That's the easiest way.
I just want my Typhlosion back.
Yeah. And lastly, for Pokemon news, this is tangentially related to Pokemon. I guess kind of actually related to Switch.
We talking about Melmetal?
Yes. So Meltan was officially released to have a final evolution.
It's not a Ditto clone. Be happy.
It's Melmetal, which looks really cool, in my opinion.
You just like steel types.
I do. I love steel types.
And he's like a robot golem thing, so he's right up your alley.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying he looks kind of like Registeel.
A little bit.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to have top-heavy characters with abstract eyes look anything other than a Reggie.
Yeah. He's not quite as top-heavy as Registeel is. And his arms definitely... He's been working out.
Yeah. Melmetal is totes swole.
Swole metal.
Swole metal. Oh my gosh, that should be its name. But I'm probably going to get one as soon as I can. What's cool about Melmetal or Meltan itself is that it's the first mythical Pokemon that can
evolve.
Yes, that can evolve. Now, people might say, oh, hey, what about Fion and Manaphy?
We don't talk about Fione.
What? No.
No.
No. That's different because Manaphy produces an egg of Fion,
yes.
but Fion doesn't evolve.
Yes, that is why.
Yes. Anyway, for new releases, we are getting, on October 26th, 911 Operator, Special Resources, and Every Life Matters as well, Halloween Pinball, and My Hero One's Justice.
Yeah!
Yay, My Hero
You
Academia.
and your Ida fanboyness.
No, it's completely valid. On October 29th, we are also getting Skyscrapers. So on October 30th, we are getting Cyvarler Delta, Galmetal, Yomawari, The Long Collection, Save Me, Mr. Taco, Mutant Football League, Dynasty Edition, Steven Universe, Save the Lights, Galmetal, Hasbro Game Night for Nintendo Switch, Lego Harry Potter Collection, Sports Party, OKKO Let's Play Heroes, and America's Greatest Game Shows Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! On October 31st, we are getting Knock Knock, Noombala, Hidden Folks, and Deathmark. And that is our show for this week. Now, thank you, David, for joining us on this special episode.
It is not a problem at all. I had fun.
Yeah, it is fun always having you on board, and maybe we'll have you on board while Casey is here.
For once.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, just keep in mind that this is not the standard format of the show. It kind of is, but kind of isn't. We also go over the community pulse and go over a Switch focus, which centers on a specific topic related to the Nintendo Switch. So feel free to check out our backlog of episodes and look forward to future episodes in the upcoming weeks. And until next time,
switch it up.
Thanks for listening. You can support the SwitchCast by visiting us at patreon.com/theswitchcast and join the review crew by rating us and subscribing on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Also check out our Discord chat where we have an enthusiastic bunch of Switch fans in a family-friendly environment. Also join our Facebook group for daily discussion and quite a bit of activity towards the Switch itself.
You can also contact us directly via email at kc@theswitchcast.com and jv@theswitchcast.com. Talk to us on Twitter at @theswitchcast.
Thank you, HeatleyBros, for the theme music. And check us out on our website at theswitchcast.com, where we will post all relevant links and show notes.
Promotional considerations provided by publishers in the form of review copies of games.